Before today's video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest videos. If you want to see a case or topic covered by Paranormally Listed, then go to criminallylisted.com and fill out the questionnaire under the Suggest a Case tab. Number 3. Plowden and Emily Weston. Many residents of Pawleys Island in South Carolina know the legend of the Gray Man. The mysterious figure appears on the beach before a hurricane approaches. People think his appearance serves as a warning for incoming hurricanes. Some locals believe that the Gray Man is Plowden Weston, who, along with his wife, owned the Pelican Inn, a hotel on the island. Plowden Weston was born to a wealthy family in England in 1819. When he was a child, his family moved to South Carolina. But Plowden didn't stay long. When he was 12, he was sent back to England for school. He attended a private school, then he went to the University of Cambridge. There he met his future wife, Emily Esdale. By the mid-1840s, Plowden and Emily married and moved back to South Carolina. As a wedding gift, Plowden's father gifted the couple a Hagley plantation. Plowden managed the property, and he was very successful. He became one of the wealthiest men in South Carolina. He was also one of the largest slaveholders. Emily, an artist, designed the couple's summer home on Pawleys Island, now known as the Pelican Inn. When the Civil War began in 1861, Plowden sided with the Confederacy and established the 10th South Carolina Infantry. While Plowden never saw military action, he rose to the rank of captain. Emily entertained many of the regiment's men and their ladies at the island's summer home. In 1862, Plowden joined South Carolina's General Assembly, becoming lieutenant governor. He died of tuberculosis while serving in office in 1864. He was 42 years old. Emily, now a childless widow, lived the rest of her life in her hometown of Somerset, England. She died in 1886. After their deaths, sightings of the Gray Man became associated with Plowden Weston. According to one story, a young woman was walking on the beach when she was approached by the Gray Man. He told her, quote, "Leave the island at once. You are in danger. Leave the island," unquote. He then vanished into thin air. The woman heeded the man's advice, and she and her family went to their inland home. Later that day, a hurricane swept in, destroying many houses on the island. Amazingly, the young woman's home on the island survived unscathed. There are many stories of the Gray Man warning people to flee just before major hurricanes, such as the Great Storm of 1893, Hurricane Hazel in 1954, and Hurricane Hugo in 1989. One of the last Gray Man sightings was in 2018 as Hurricane Florence descended on the island. Those who encountered the Gray Man heeded his warning and fled to safety. It appears that Plowden Weston's spirit is the only one lingering on this plane of existence. The Westons' former summer home, the Pelican Inn, is now a hotel. It's had its share of strange occurrences over the years. Visitors claim they have seen Emily Weston's ghost. Some visitors said that they have seen her, while others claim they can smell her perfume. So it appears that the Westons may be lingering around their beloved summer home. Number 2. Thomas and Mary Standard. Reverend Thomas Standard was born in England in 1680. He moved to the New York colony in 1725 as part of a church initiative that sent priests to American colonies. Thomas took the position because it offered an annual salary. He eventually landed at St. Paul Church in Westchester County in 1727. The Reverend believed his mission was to bring Anglicanism, the official Church of England, to the community. However, this was problematic because the area's residents had strong Puritan and Presbyterian beliefs. Thomas was not welcomed in the area and was considered an outsider. Thomas did not think highly of the residents. He referred to some of them as cabbage stalks. Besides Thomas trying to push Anglicanism on them, the residents also didn't like his drinking habits. According to one parishioner, Thomas, quote, makes frequent journeys to the city of New York to the great neglect of his parish, and sometimes returns not till the Saturday, and in liquor, unquote. Thomas, who was also the town's physician, was also accused of offering ministerial comfort and then charging a fee for medical services. Despite his unpopularity with the community, parish authorities kept him as the rector for St. Paul's. In the late 1740s, Thomas's health started to deteriorate. Tragically, in January 1758, his wife Mary, who was in her 70s, burned to death in a hearth fire. According to a 1921 article, parts of Mary Standard's body were burnt to cinders. The article speculated she may have had a fit or fell from her chair into the fire. Thomas retired as the rector shortly after his wife's death, more than 30 years after he joined the community. That same year, Thomas gifted a bronze bell to the parish with the inscription, "The gift of the Reverend Thomas Standard, 1758." Reverend Thomas Standard passed away 2 years later at the age of 80. One of his final wishes was to be buried beneath the church. Parishioners honored his wishes and buried his and Mary's body under the church. During the Revolutionary War of 1776, soldiers dismantled part of the church to use it as a medical hospital. After the war, parishioners could not find the exact location of the couple's graves. Their remains stayed in their unmarked graves for almost 58 years. Judging by some of the legends and ghost stories that arose, it appeared that the couple did not rest in peace. Parishioners reported seeing the couple in the church, while others claimed they felt sudden temperature drops in certain areas of the building. Others claimed to have seen the light flick on and off in the bell tower. But then, in 1818, parishioners found their coffins and exhumed them. They reinterred them in St. Paul's East Wing. Years later, in 1875, the church marked the couple's grave with a tablet, which is still visible today. Number 1. Thomas Rowe and Lucinda. Thomas Rowe was born in Massachusetts in 1872. When he was a young man, he traveled to London, England. There, he met a beautiful young Spanish actress, only identified as Lucinda. When he met her, she was the female lead in the opera Maritana. Thomas and Lucinda fell in love and spent a lot of time together at a pink beachfront hotel. The couple wanted to get married and have a honeymoon at the hotel. However, Lucinda's parents forbade her from seeing Thomas and refused to let the couple marry. Lucinda was a member of an aristocratic family, and her parents wanted nothing to do with the young American. Undeterred, Thomas and Lucinda met in secret. But sadly, when Lucinda's play in London ended, her parents took her back to Spain. During their lifetimes, they never saw each other again. Thomas wrote letters to Lucinda, but her parents' servants intercepted them. A heartbroken Thomas moved back to America. In 1924, Thomas bought 80 acres of land in Tampa, Florida, where he constructed a large hotel. The hotel was Thomas's tribute to his lost love, Lucinda. The architecture was inspired by the Pink Hotel, where they fell in love. They named the hotel the Don Cesar after Don Cesar de Bazan, the main character from the opera Lucinda starred in. Thomas even built a replica of the fountain from the hotel where they had spent so much time. The Don Cesar, nicknamed the Pink Lady, opened in 1928 and was a popular destination well into the 30s. Celebrities, athletes, and mobsters frequently stayed in the Pink Lady. Some of the more famous guests were writer F. Scott Fitzgerald, gangster Al Capone, baseball player Lou Gehrig, and even U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt. Thomas Rowe never got over Lucinda. He'd walk along the shoreline wearing a white Panama suit, hoping his love would come to Tampa and find him. It turned out that Lucinda never got over Thomas either. Tragically, she died young. On her deathbed, she wrote a letter to Thomas that reads, quote, "Tom, my beloved Don Cesar, forgive them both as I have. Never would I despair, nor could I forsake you. We found each other before, we will do so again. This life is only an intermediate. I leave it without regret to travel to a place where the swing of the pendulum does not bring pain. Time is infinite. I will wait for you by our fountain to share our timeless love. Our destiny is time." Unquote. Thomas Rowe died at his beloved hotel in 1940 at age 68. After his death, the hotel fell into disrepair. The U.S. government bought it in 1941 and converted it into a military hospital. After World War II, it was converted into a Veterans Administration regional office. They used the building until 1967. After that, it remained vacant for several years. The local government wanted to tear down the hotel, but residents opposed the idea. The city ended up buying it and fixing it up. In early 1972, they sold it to the owner of the Holiday Inn franchise, and it's been open ever since. In 1975, the Don Cesar was named to the National Register of Historic Places. Since its reopening as a hotel in the early 1970s, several sightings of Thomas Rowe's ghost have occurred. Many times his ghost is seen with the ghost of a woman. Based on these sightings, many people believe that Thomas and Lucinda reunited after death. In one instance, an elderly hotel guest was walking along the shoreline when he noticed a couple in front of him. The man wore a white hat and Panama suit, and the woman wore a pink dress. As the guests approached the couple, they floated above the water. Shocked, the elderly guest scanned the beach to see if anyone else saw what he saw. When he turned back to the couple, they were gone. It was as if they vanished into thin air. Other staff members and guests have had similar occurrences, such as seeing a man in a white suit disappear. Guests have heard random knocks on the door and seen Thomas's ghost wandering the halls. One dishwasher came to work, and he was shocked to find that all the dishes were cleaned and stacked, and he knew that no one else had been in the kitchen. A housekeeper was cleaning Thomas's former room on the 5th floor. Someone knocked on the door. She opened the door, and no one was there. She discovered that there was no one on the 5th floor. She was so disturbed by the incident that she refused to clean the 5th floor again. There have been sightings of the couple holding hands near the fountain. Many people believe that their love is so strong that not even death can keep them apart. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. If you did find it interesting, please make sure you subscribe. We'll have a new video about the paranormal every week. If you just discovered this channel, please make sure you check out our other channel, Criminally Listed. We have over 325 videos featuring bizarre but true crime stories. You can find it at youtube.com/criminallylisted. We also have a podcast about cold cases that were eventually solved called Criminally Listed Presents Into the Killing. You can find it on Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you find great podcasts. But that's all for today. Thanks again for watching.